Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to TEL COCKEREL, episode 22. Winner takes it all. And with me today is Colin from Talk and Ball. Colin, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today, Jose? It's Monday, but it could be worse. Work go okay for you?
Yep, swimmingly, nice, fine,
You
done and
made it through the
dusted.
first day of the week.
Yeah,
Cross it off.
I was in bed nice and early last night. Woke up
There you
early
go.
this morning. All cool, all very, very cool. No
Good deal.
dramas, no episodes, just
Good
fine.
deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I want to ask you about, but we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there.
Yes, we will get there. We will get there. Um, yeah, it's I've got a couple of banners because there's only a couple of things to talk about today. Nothing on the transfer front. No point talking about transfers. Nothing's happening. We're just going to hope it all ramps up now. Now that the Euros and the Copa America's finished, and they're the two topics to talk about today, unless any burning transfer information comes through, which I haven't seen none all day long. I've only got one person in the chat at the moment who's commenting, and that is Peter. Peter saying, hi, all. It's 1 a.m. in Melbourne.
Snap.
So I hope you are well, Peter, and I hope the public in Melbourne are well in your capable hands. So, where do we start today's show?
It's a good question. You know, there you go. There you go. Boom.
So, I don't know whether you got to see much of the game.
I actually watched, I would say, a good 95% of it. I was watching really close.
Sorry,
So,
Peter's saying no, he's not off tonight. Okay,
oh, heck
Peter,
yeah.
good. Everyone's entitled to some time off. And audio's here saying afternoon chaps and chat.
What's up, bro?
Right, so yeah. So what did you think?
Well, I really thought that, well, for one, okay. First of all, do you think I think that Spain played a little bit differently than they played like for the majority of the tournament? It seemed like they weren't completely front foot as much. And I heard one of the commentators for the feed I was watching say something about like mutual respect. And I have to wonder if that maybe is a bit what was going on there. It seemed like the teams did have a lot of respect for each other. They were giving each other plenty of room, you know what I mean? And they weren't they were both sitting kind of deep at times. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game. I really thought that England were gonna get the draw after 90, um, and then it would go into extra time, and we would see from there. But your boys, but the Spanish boys, they did it. They pulled it out. It was a good game. I thought it was a really good game. I thought that it was good seeing Luke Shaw on the left for England. I think that helped out a lot. It's only a shame that he wasn't fit for the entire tournament. I mean, obviously they made it to the final, so it doesn't really matter. But I think it would have been easier for them approaching that had Luke Shaw been available. I think he looked good. I think that I don't have very much to complain about like Southgate subs. I don't know. It was just a good match. I think the better team won, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, so do you wanted England to win then?
I did. I did. I wanted
There you go.
I wanted Harry Kane to win a trophy. He can't seem to buy one at the moment, so I was like, you know what, maybe a nice trophy with the national team would be good for him. But no, he couldn't get it done, unfortunately. But so the Harry Kane curse continues.
So watching the game yesterday, my everything in my being told me Spain were going to beat England, and all along in my being, but I've had to be neutral. But
Hmm.
all along, I've said that Spain would beat England. I said the only way that England would beat Spain or could get to Spain or beat Spain is if they got players in and behind the fullbacks. I.e., but I said I feared for England because all they had was Saka. This is all tournament. So all tournament I've been saying they've only got Saka down the right. So it'd be Saka up against Cucurella. But I don't know who's going to go up against Carvajal because he doesn't play with two wide players. Now it's quite interesting. People can shoot me if they want. I don't care. Right.
Don't shoot him. Don't shoot the man. I love this guy. He's
Right.
precious.
But the way Spain play, right, with the 4-3-3, right, apart from the inverted side of it, is the way Tottenham want to play. I want to play with two wide players that feed the ball into the centre forward, and that's what Spain play, right? So England had no one on the left wing. They looked totally imbalanced for the 7th game in the tournament again, right? 7th game in the tournament again. Yeah, they brought Luke Shaw in and it balances your defence. But further up the pitch, if you're playing a 4-3-3, who are the further two people on the left? Because there wasn't.
Right, exactly. It was all smushed over. It was not the
It,
pitch was not
no,
stretched the way that it could have been.
never
Um,
fit. And in the end, it's not just yesterday. So people don't kid yourselves on the final. It wasn't just yesterday. This is factual that it happened in the previous 6 games to the final, right? And no one playing out on the left, no outlet on the left at all. So you can't attack with wide players if you've got no one playing in them positions. And that happened on the left hand side every game of the tournament. Spain, however, played, regardless who the opposition was, they played all 7 games in the tournament the same way. A 4-3-3 with 2 attacking players that would attack and get in behind, right? I think with yesterday, because of the speed of Walker and the fact that Shaw had just come back, but Shaw's a decent left back. Let's not get. I'm not
no,
going to
no, yeah, he's good.
Shaw is a decent left back, right? And what Spain did is they switched up their play up front. They had 2 people doubling up on Shaw at times. So Nico switched over. Nico went wherever he wanted. The boys didn't hug the touchline. They kept coming in. Nico and Yamal kept coming in. And going across and coming into the middle of the park.
Being on the same
And
side at times, I noticed. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They attacked on the same side at times, but they came in and they were both. They came inside and played inside, right? Which meant Shaw and Walker. Where do they go? Do they follow him into the inside and stuff? It
right
was it
creates
was.
problems.
But then the other thing is Spain every single game, not just now, but all 7 games. Spain did things that England don't do. Spain passed the ball quickly. Spain keep possession and frustrate. Spain attack. And Spain get players in behind, which is something none of the other teams. You look at all the other teams in the tournament, and I'm talking every team in the tournament. Not one of these teams in the tournament did that. France didn't do it. Germany didn't do it. Portugal never done it. So if you look at all the teams that were playing in Europe, the only team that did it was Spain. Well, the only team that did it. It was an absolutely. I mean, they got carved apart for the first goal. For the first goal that Williams got, Williams had so much space, so much space, and the ball went in from Yamal had come in off the flank, picked up the ball in the middle, and he sliced the ball on a diagonal ball that split everybody. Walker was nowhere to be seen to be marking his player, and Williams got in and scored the goal. I must say, Cole Palmer's goal was absolutely fantastic as well. Such a good goal, such a great finish. The guy is so composed on the football. I mean, England, and we'll talk about it a bit more, but yesterday, mate, some of the English decisions that were made again yesterday completely baffled me. I don't know whether people have evidence on each other, and there's a bit of bribery going on. But some of the things I saw yesterday, I was just like, oh God. But yeah, there's no getting away from it. There's no denying it. Spain were the team of the tournament.
For sure.
So they are the best national team in Europe because they won the European Championships, right? But I'm going to say, out of national teams, they're possibly the best team nationally in the world at the moment. And it says a lot that if this group, because they're a young group as well, if this group stay fit, healthy, in 2 years' time, this team would surely be one of the favourites to lift the World Cup. Has to be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's how the World Cup is, but I'm excited to see how their brand of football holds up against some other teams. Some other teams, I'm sure we're going to talk about today, probably in a bit. But But yeah, there's differences obviously in football, between different parts of the world. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Spain can do in the World Cup. It'll be exciting. But yeah, back to yesterday. What are some of those decisions that were made that just had you baffled?
Hold on, let me just say hello. Right, you can say so. Spain, boo, lol. Big up, Jose and Collins. Spain was the better side overall and throughout the tournament. That's coming in from Chris Agenbar. Hi, Chris. I hope you're well, buddy. Peter says, lol. As I said many times, the English invented the rest of the world, perfected it. Jay Ashraf, good afternoon, good evening. It's been a while since I last saw you. Says Lo Celso has a winner's medal now. We're going to go on to that and a bit more after. Peter says 65% possession. The team with the ball usually wins. Like Ange. Ryan G saying big up Jose and Cole. Hi Ryan, I hope you're well. And then he also says Argentina are the #1 international side currently, back-to-back Copa America champions and world champions.
Yes, sir.
I was so wishing that Spain could be in that Copa America because Spain would have won the Copa America this time round. It's my belief. And Romero's not world class. He's laughing. Peter is laughing there. Ryan G says, congrats for yesterday, Jose. Spain were brilliant in this tournament. Cockney Johnny Vasco says, hola, my geezers.
What's up, bro? Good to see you, Johnny.
Scott M, good morning, Scott. Says, it's sad that England wasted this team with Southgate. Peter says, no finesse, lads. Scott is also saying, and sad that France is wasting its talents with Deschamps.
That's a fact. That's a big one. Yep.
I'll talk about France in a second. I'll save that and talk about France because I made a comment about this the other day. Chris Agamar says, well done, Romero and Lo Celso with Argentina. You can't put Spain above Argentina right now. You can. They're a better. They've got the titles, but on playing wise, Argentina won't have that team in 2 years' time. Argentina look aged at the moment. Di Maria, Messi, Molina, and some of these other boys that they've got playing ain't going to be around in 2 years' time. And I think Spain, if Spain plays Argentina right now, with the teams and the teams that they've got at the moment, Spain beat Argentina. You got Jamie saying, hey up, Jamie, how are we all doing? Jamie, how are you? Are you back? Are you still in Germany? And I hope you had a really, really good time at the tournament, mate. I hope you enjoyed it. It's giving you a month of football out there, mate. So I hope you enjoyed it all. Scott M says the talent is too big not to blame the manager. Switch the managers and the result is 100% different. Adrian saying good afternoon, Jose Colin et al.
Yo, Adrian, what's up, buddy?
Ryan G says that's easy to say, Jose, but the facts are Argentina have won the last 3 tournaments. They may have won the last 3 tournaments, but the World Cup they won, fair and square, fine. But 2 years on, Argentina winning the Copa America yesterday or today, right? Looking at their team, if they put that team out against the Spanish team that started against England, Spain beat Argentina all day long. All day long. Cockney Johnny Vasco says, remind who scored the winner? A Basque. Yes, Nico Williams is Basque. And Jamie saying
he's the younger brother to Iñaki Williams, right? He's that's
Iñaki
his older brother.
Williams.
Okay, cool.
Iñaki Williams, yeah. And Jamie saying, I get back tomorrow night. Cost me a arm and a leg, over 10K on this tournament, but I love it. You still there? Well, I don't know whether he's still there. I think I heard him holler, and he went woo, but then he's gone missing. So I'm not sure whether he's still there or not. Okay, you still there? I'm not sure. He might have to disconnect and connect again. Ryan saying Spain are brilliant, so I'm not dissing Spain. They're a great side, but I think it's easy to just say they're beaten because I think so. Right. No. Ryan, I can let people into a bit of a thing now, right? Like I said and I explained to people, I've got family on both sides of the fence here, so I sat right firmly in the middle. However, I knew Spain were going to win. I knew Spain were going to win, but I didn't give out the vibes to everybody that Spain were going to go and win it. I knew Spain would win. My heart, and my head were telling me Spain were going to win this, right? Because of what the evidence has been with the selections and stuff, and that's what my head was saying. However, regardless what my head was saying, this is now the fourth tournament or the fourth major tournament that I've seen Spain win in my lifetime, right? In
Boom.
my lifetime, I've never seen England win nothing. And part of me wanted England to win just so in my lifetime I get to see England win a tournament, right? So it's not all because of Spain, Spain, Spain. I'm talking about Spain at the moment because Spain are the ones that have been the victors. Spain at the moment, with what they've got and what they're going to have in 2 years' time, what they've got now beats Argentina. What they have in 2 years' time beats Argentina as well, in my eyes. But part of me feels really sorry for England and all the supporters for England because some of the decisions that were made again yesterday seemed rather strange to me. Now, I don't work with the team day in, day out, but to me, yeah, it's just
Why can't Ivan Toney get more than 2 minutes at the end of the match?
well, to me, Harry Kane, there's one or two things. Harry Kane was either injured
Hmm.
or England never ever played to Harry Kane's strengths, where you have two out and out players that play up front with him, and that could
Right.
be so. So when it was Saka and Rashford were playing in positions, Kane would get goals because he'd be fed by Saka and Rashford. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it could be the personnel, or it could be the tactics that were chosen that made Harry Kane look extremely poor, or there's a part of that and a part that says that Harry Kane weren't fit.
He has a history of playing through injury, so
Yeah.
it
So
wouldn't exactly be.
it's either he wasn't fit, right, or the system that was played don't get the best out of Harry Kane because no one was setting him up. He wasn't playing the way he normally plays, and he kept dropping in because the ball weren't coming to him. I mean, I can recall him having one shot yesterday from outside the box that was blocked, right? But he was outside the box. He weren't even in the box. So the
Oh, a
ball,
Kane shot, the one that Kane put in that was instantly just blocked from like a foot in front of him. There was a defender
yes,
right
yeah,
on him. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
that was outside the box. Kane's your goal scorer. You want to be feeding him in the box. So, so at the end of the day, I'm not too sure, right? Whether, because as I said, I'm not close to the team at all. And to be honest, I think a lot was going on there because some of the players, they're a very tight unit, right? And they weren't saying much. But I think a lot went on in this camp.
Really, like drama or something.
I think a lot went on. I think there were some disgruntled people. And the disgruntled people were the ones that weren't getting games.
I could see it, especially whenever the players that Southgate was choosing for the starting 11 weren't getting the job done, and he was having to call on these subs every single game. Um, you'd think that one of them would have maybe earned a start. I don't know.
I think disgruntled players were Tony,
Palmer.
Watkins, Palmer, Gordon, Eze. I think
Yeah,
they're the
yeah.
five disgruntled players that were really disgruntled. And at the end of the day, if you're going to match up against Spain or against anybody else for that matter, and it's something that we argue about at Tottenham as well, right? Is having a number six. Now, do Spain play with six? People are going to say that Rodri's a six, but Rodri can carry the ball as well, can play as an eight. So he's a hybrid 6'8". But if you're going to match up and you're going to play Rodri as a six, then England should have had a six. And Rice is not that. For all the worth in the world, Rice is an eight. He's not a six. And Rice yesterday, like the rest of the tournament, awful.
Agreed.
Awful. Rice has been this tournament. Awful. Um, Trippier, workman like. Walker, error prone. All throughout the tournament has been error prone. There's been goals that have come down Walker's side and it's been Walker's faults. Now, I will say for Walker, he was asked, he was going to retire from international football after the last World Cup. And he
Really?
was, yeah, he's 34 now. He's
Yeah, I
going to
know he's.
retire.
I
He's
know he's
going to
not young.
yeah, he's going to retire and concentrate and extend his career at club football. But he was convinced by England to stay on. I do not think. I think it won't be. It'll be a few days' time that you hear that Kyle Walker's retired from international football.
Wow. I thought I mean, there were some errors, but I thought he handled things decently well, especially when you consider his age and like he was still the fastest player on the pitch at times. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could see it, and the fact that he's tried to retire before, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, but yeah, he was asked to retire and he stayed on. Right. So, sorry, this, Ryan G says Spain are brilliant. So I'm not. I know I read that one. So that's not that one. It's where am I? Right. Jamie saying, when I'm back home, I'll be back following my home team, Sheffield United, home and away. Yeah, well done, Jamie. Well done.
Big up, Jamie.
Although he says England is like Tottenham and can't win nothing.
Hey,
Uh,
hey now.
Des- Destiny, good afternoon. Destiny's here says Carl Walker was at fault for both goals. Beyond 72 says, but Spain were once regarded as bottlers. I have Irish roots, so I'm not being bitter. Donna is here saying hello. Or Wagwan, like she says, to me, you, and Ryan.
Dang. Hey Donna, how are you?
Ryan says every time Palmer comes on, we score instantly. Gordon got no minutes either. Needed pace in behind Spain. Yeah, Spurs are linked with 22-year-old 5'11" Bradley Loco, left wing back from the French club Brest. I can come back to that because I watched him play the other night. He's a good player. I watched him play. He reminds me of what's his name? He reminds me of Destiny Doggy. Plays exactly the same kind of way,
Oh,
but he's
nice.
young. He's young. He's with the Olympic squad at the moment, right? So that's where I can talk about that. And there was a comment that was made earlier about Deschamps, which and I said this on another show. Rodri is a style of six you need to win football today, in my view, and that's what it is. It
Yeah,
is that.
there's no straight up number sixes anymore. It's a hybrid 6'8". I feel like that's the way forward. That's the only. Yeah, Conte
Uh,
with Leicester and Chelsea was similar. Agreed.
yeah, but Rodri is the man in that position in world football. There's no one like him in world football. The same as when Kante played that position and was, playing with France a few years ago. Kante, there was no one better than him in that position. It's the same as Makaleli. When Makaleli played it for Real Madrid, no one liked him in that position. No one liked him in that position at all. So yeah, Rodri, Kante, Makaleli, all these players are Don bosses in the sixth role, if you want to call it a six or the six hybrid eight. And what England should have done is, and it'd be interesting because I don't know whether Southgate's going to stay on or whether he's going to go. But you've got to, for England, you've got to change your methods. You've got to switch up and change the way you do things. It's no point having all the best players in the planet or sought after players in the planet, right? If you're not going to play them in their positions, and that's the problem that Southgate's got. So many players that should have played, could have played, didn't play because he was trying to shoehorn players, and it was like square holes into round holes, square pegs. It weren't working, and he tried to do this and try to do this. Ryan T says, hopefully Reece James can actually stay fit and take that position, but it's highly unlikely. The right back position. Spot on Scott. Scott says, a player who can control the game and with the ball and be elite defensive. Wayne Bonner's in the house. Wayne, as far as an England team go, I think Guehi had a good tournament. He played well. I would have liked to have seen Palmer get more game time. Nick, good morning to you, Nick. It's been a while, mate. I hope you're well in America. It says morning, not here for a long time, just here for a good time. Nice one, Nick. Ryan G says it's hard supporting Wolves in England, never going to see a trophy. Cockney Johnny Vasco, when were Spain considered bottlers? Talking balls. I think that the year they thought that in major tournaments, Spain prior to 2008. Spain were always talked about being in the mix with games, but were never actually in it. If that makes any sense. Sorry, let me just have a look at this. Just come up. Yes, as I said, so Spain always were there or thereabouts, always talked about in major tournaments, but never really did it, never really got. They were like England. They were like England in the past, where they'd get to quarterfinals. They wouldn't even get to semi-finals. Spain, the maximum they'd get was the quarterfinals. There were some World Cups. I remember when Nigeria beat Spain 3-2. I can't remember what World Cup was, but it was years ago. It might have been the 2002 World Cup. Or 2006. It might have been, no, it could have been 2002, or it it might have been 2002 or 98. But anyway, I remember Nigeria beating Spain 3-2, and Spain sometimes didn't get out of the group, and Spain sometimes wouldn't get to the semi-finals. They'd get quarterfinals maximum, and then they'd go out. So at the end of the day, that's when Spain used to be called bottlers, Johnny. But they've turned that round because they've now won 4 tournaments in what 16 years. Ryan G says Rodri for the Ballon d'Or. My dogs are going mad and I don't know why. Marcos is here. Hello, Marcos. I hope you're well, mate. I know you had a good day yesterday. What a great Sunday. Alcaraz in the final. Sorry, England, but from day one, I knew the cup was going to Madrid. Peter says Eric Cantona once called the Sharps the water boy, and I'll come back to that as well, Peter, because I made a comment about this the other day. Rob Belcher, good afternoon, Rob. Not content with the winning the men's singles. Wimbledon, Spain had to do the double. Life's so unfair. I'm out. I hope you're well, Rob. It's been a while, mate. It's been a while. Marcos says, great year it's been. Deportivo got promoted. Yes, we did. Spain won the Euros. Now just needed Tottenham to win the Premier League. Beyond 72 says Spain were beaten by Northern Ireland in their own World Cup in 1982. They failed to qualify for Euro 92 and they lost to South Korea in 2002 World Cup. 20 years of uselessness. Ronnie says, hello, Jose and Colin. Roll on the season. Would rather see Tottenham Hotspur win over England. Coys. It was 3-2. It weren't 4-2. It was 1998 World Cup. Okay, but it was Nigeria 3, Spain 2. It weren't 4-2. But it's 3-2. So in the 98 World Cup, Spain were meant to be doing well. And I remember Zubi Zaretta being in goal for that game and being beaten at the near post. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. So that's where the term bottlers comes in, because they never, big European nation team. They had Barcelona, Real Madrid in their pomp back in them days, that they used to go and win things, and they were like revered teams out there, along with the Italians at the time as well, were revered club sides. But Spain would never get any further than a certain point, and that's why they were called bottlers back then. But they've certainly changed that statement around because they've won 4 tournaments now. And so what I was going to say with the France thing is I said on another show the other day that I watched the France Olympic squad, the Olympic team play against Dominican Republic, albeit it was a friendly, and they won 7-0. And they've got Thierry Henry as their manager, and Gal Clichy is one of the coaches, but Thierry Henry's the manager. And the only comparison I can make is the way France play the national team, the first team. They play very much a mirror image of Deschamps and the way Deschamps was as a player, all defensive and stuff like that. Yeah, and the way I saw France's under-23s, the Olympic team play, was very much akin to Thierry Henry, the way that he played football, which is all about flair, skill, and attack. And what surprises me, and I said this the other day on the show, what surprises me is watching France play in the Euros and then watching this under 23 teams play. Now, I know it's a different caliber of players you're playing against and that, but it's the style and the way you present yourself and the way you play. I am shocked that France have decided to stick with Deschamps till the next World Cup and not go for someone like Thierry Henry, because I think Thierry Henry would have probably been a better fit for France going forward, because Thierry Henry, he would utilise the attacking flair that France have got. Now, France, if you're talking about England leaving players at home, now people are saying the Madisons, the Grealishes, your Rashfords. France have left a lot of players out of their squad. A lot of players that they could have picked that they've left that have not made the 25 or man squad. And for me, I think, yeah, they missed a trick, because now they've got Deschamps for further 2 years for the next World Cup. And to me, yeah, defensively, France might be good in 2 years, but that's it. They ain't winning no World Cup in 2 years' time. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say with that. You've got Cockney Johnny Vasco. He says, choice of words, bottlers, I would have said, are England. We were just evolving into a World Cup winning squad. But it's not just back then. I mean, evolving can take a long time, Johnny. And Spain never won a World Cup until 2010. And Spain won the Euros, I think, in 1964. So 2 years before England won the World Cup. I think Spain won the Euros in 1964 because Spain have won it 4 times now. So I think it was 64 they won it in. So from 64 to 2008, it's quite a number of years, isn't it? So to say you're evolving, that's a long time. I think it's a route Spain have taken, and Spain have got to where they've got to now, and have won the tournaments they've won now. And it's just England not getting over the line. Like I said, I watched the game yesterday, and I've watched the whole tournament. And in the whole tournament, we all knew as fans, we all thought, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, we're all fantastic in picking, selecting sides, and telling managers what we think they should do. But we knew from very early on, from the first game, that Southgate was only going to make one change a game. Doesn't matter how they played and whatever happened, it's only ever going to be one change. And that's what he did. He made the one change yesterday where he started Luke Shaw for Trippier. The rest of the team was exactly the same as it has been. Now, they might have changed up systems in certain games and that, but it was the same 11, bar one player that kept going out. And he kept doing what he was doing throughout the whole of the previous 6 games and kept shoehorning in players that just didn't fit the system. I mean, at the end of the day, Bellingham wasted, Foden wasted, you know, um, Kane wasted. Um, so at the end of the day, it's the teams that he selected and what he ended up doing. And like I said, the lack of having someone playing out on the left, well, to balance the team, and the lack of a left attacking player, again, that's another thing that let them down as well. So, at the end of the day, they'll learn. What will be interesting will be, does Southgate stay? I'm aware he has a contract till December, but Southgate needs to make a decision now whether he wants to stay as England manager or whether he passes the baton to somebody else. And if he were to pass the baton to somebody else, would this person that comes in? So at the moment, I think the bookie's favourite is Graham Potter, and the second favourite is Eddie Howe. There are even odds for Pochettino. There's odds for Guardiola, odds for Klopp as well, but they're further out. They're like double. Well, no, Pochettino single digits, but Klopp I think was like 10-1 and 14-1 Pep. For me, Pep you could put him in at 1,000,000-1 because he's not going to be the next England manager. Not if Southgate leaves now, he won't. And it'd be interesting to see if you've got a manager that comes in. If this is only Southgate leaves, if a manager then comes in to manage England, will they then select players to fit a system and not just to put players in for the sake of it because they're your favourites? England should have picked their best team. Now, Saka played well, so you can't take Saka off the right wing because Saka played well. But then you needed to have someone on the left. Anthony Gordon could have played there. Up front, Harry Kane. If you're not going to play to his strengths, then you might as well not pick him. You might as well pick someone else. Cole Palmer is looking to make starts now because Cole Palmer affected every single game he played in. He affected it when he came off the bench. So you've got him. Defensively, there's not much he could have changed. Konza did well when he came in. Shaw, at the end of the day, it's all right saying this now, but I was saying it all along. When he chooses a squad of 26, which means you're allowed to pick 3 players extra, knowing that you've left Chilwell out, you've left Tyrick Mitchell out, and you've gone with an unfit Luke Shaw who hasn't played since February. And by all accounts, the reports were saying that he would be fit for he would have been fit for the second game, is what they were saying. So if he's going to be fit for the second game, then why did Luke Shaw not appear till the sixth game? He wasn't fit, was he? So he didn't appear till the sixth game. So there's some parts on his part that he's got to stand up and be counted. Has football moved on? Because he seems to have been caught out in the finals and quarterfinals and semi-finals of the previous tournaments he's played in. I mean, in all honesty, I think against Italy 3 years ago, it was a bitter pill to swallow because England were a better team, right? It's a bitter pill to swallow. I think yesterday, though, with Spain, I think most people knew that Spain were going to win that game. And with that, I think it lessens the heartache, if you like, for people because it's more, oh, we're not going to beat them. You know, we'll give it a go, but we're not going to beat them. But with some previous teams that they've played against, like your Croatias and Italy, you know, them games, two games that England should have won. Saying that as well, if he had been a bit more attack-minded when they played France in the World Cup, when they went out in the quarterfinals, England had the beating of France that day as well. Harry Kane missed a penalty, didn't he? But although he had a penalty, although Harry Kane missed a penalty against France in the quarters, England, if they had been a bit more, you know, and up front, then they could have won that game as well. So sometimes he's got to look at some of the decisions that he's made, right, that have made him, lose certain games. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just interesting, isn't it? So I hope that he can find. I'm hoping that he can find. Well, I don't know. I don't know because it all depends what he wants to do. Does he want to stay or go? And yeah, if someone else comes in and someone else uses these crop of players that England have got at the moment, do they get a better tick out of it because they're going to pick the right players for the right positions, and you know, take England forward? You've got to look at it and you've got to say to yourself, England have some really, really, really good footballers. There's no getting away from it. They really are good, some good footballers. But if you pick the team that will play correctly and you play to their strengths, then you know at the end of the day, if that then happens, then England may have chances of doing bits and pieces in the future. Nick says, I hit the like button. I've got to take off though. See you later, Nick. I hope you're well. I hope family's well. Thank you for coming on the show. Early doors. Tony, afternoon, Jose. Hope all's well. Good afternoon, Tony. Hope you're well. I think West Ham were losing 2-0 against Ferencvaros in a friendly the last time I looked. I don't know whether that's finished yet or not. Swim Master says, I would want Southgate resigning. Appoint an Englishman who has more attacking approach. I haven't got a name as yet from Swim Master. And we seek and she shall come along. Look who it is.
Come on. I see. Right, so congratulations to Spain first and foremost. They played fantastic and England played pants. Total pants, apart from 3 players who can sort of hold their head up and say they did try. And they were, in my opinion, Saka, possibly Foden in a way, and Luke Shaw. A little bit of the goalie, but he made they were pretty easy saves, really. They were right at him, really, apart from one. But other than that, the rest of the team played rubbish. They really did. I'm just being honest, you know, because I'm an England fan first and foremost. But having watched that yesterday, it was so frustrating because they just didn't get at it. And Spain were better in every single area of the pitch. And Walker got injured early doors and then he doesn't substitute him and he's struggling. You could see he's struggling for the whole of the match because that's not... Walker's noted for his tenacity and his speed and getting back and defending really well. But he just defended like an injured player. And then we had another injured player in Harry Kane. He didn't look right. He wasn't even. No, but every time the ball went aerially, he was losing it. He wasn't even challenging Jose. You know, like normally a striker would challenge for the ball. He was shying away from it. So it was like having 10 men from the beginning anyway. Yeah, so I was very upset.
You got Brian Daigle saying, big up everyone in the chat. My man Jose on screen. Hope everyone is well. I think he put this in just before you came on, Ellie.
Yeah, I like Daigle. He's my man.
And you've got just Armors Potato says, hello, all big up Queen Ellie and Jose. Jay Ashraf is speaking. It says everyone's speaking to each other there. Right. So, Ellie, what I said, I don't know whether you've watched any of the show.
Yeah,
but I said
I haven't.
okay.
I had a friend ran, so that's why I was delayed.
Okay, so I in my head and my heart, I knew Spain were going to win, right? But not yesterday, even weeks ago. I was saying Spain would win the tournament, the best team in the tournament, right? And like I've said on a few occasions, but I'll say it today. In my lifetime, I've seen Spain win 4 major tournaments.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I've never seen England win 1, right?
I know.
And where I said I've got family on one side and I've got family on the other, so my feet are planted in both camps.
Yeah.
But part of me yesterday, my wife said to me, you must want England to win. And I said, well, no, I said, I'm evens on it. Why? She said, because you screamed when Palmer scored the goal. But I never screamed when the other 2 goals went in. And I said, and I explained to my wife, and I explained to my wife exactly what I'm saying to the people now is that, you know, in all my time, I've seen Spain win things, but never seen England win anything. And I was hoping that, I mean, you don't know how long you get to live on this planet. And I was just hoping that, you know, England could get across the line and, you know, get a victory. So in my lifetime, I've seen Spain win things, I've seen England win things, but it wasn't to happen. But I knew in my heart of hearts and in my head that the game was going to be won by Spain.
You wasn't born in 1966, was you, Jose?
I was born 2 years to the day that England won the World Cup. So England won the World Cup on the 30th of July 1966, and I was born on the 30th of July 1968. So 2 years to the day after England won the World Cup.
See, I was 4 years old in 1966. Well, I wasn't quite 4. I was 3 3/4. So I can remember it in a way because of all the street parties. And like when you're a kid, a street party is like heaven, isn't it? You know? And I remember my dad putting me on his shoulders and all the England flags. But other than that, I didn't really relate it to football. Because although I love football, I was only 3 3/4. So I wasn't really a proper person yet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In terms of football terms.
Yeah.
But by the time I was 6, I knew more. And then as you get older, you just know more, don't you, about football? So yeah, I haven't seen England win anything since. It's a shame. It's like we died in 1966 and nothing else happened.
The world stopped. The world paused.
Yeah, the world stopped, and England just didn't compete in football terms.
Well, you got Brian. You got Brian saying it was before Her Royal Highness Queen Ellie joined the stream. Big up my superstar. I hope you're well.
Yeah.
Talking Ball says Ellie is so pretty, guys. My internet is being awful. I think it's an outage. I'm working to get it fixed. Then you've got Julie Severs. You got Julie Severs saying Ellie is so pretty.
Oh, they're so kind. I mean, are they blind or what?
Yeah. Tony's saying Jose plugging his birthday early, folks. Jose will be doing a birthday stream 2 weeks tomorrow on my birthday. It's
come on. I want to invite to that party.
Jose becoming an old man.
Is there going to be some sangria at that party?
Oh, yeah. Swimmaster question says, would we prefer an English new manager or the nationality of no concern? I would want an English. I would want an English manager who knows the players and no language problems. Should we have a poll?
Well, Adrian Stroker on our stream last night, before the game, because Ian hosted, and he was saying that we don't really need a foreign manager because no other country of any importance employs a foreign manager. So I don't think Spain have had the foreign manager, have they? They've always had the Spaniard. So I think it's not being racist or anything. I just think somebody from your own country represents you in a lot of other ways, not just on footballing terms, but they relate to the players, and they're just, I don't know, they've got their heart in it as well, more so than a foreign manager. But I'm not saying a foreign manager can't do a good job, because they can, because they've shown it in the Premiership. They're not English, are they? But this is a different kettle of fish when it comes to England, and there's a lot of patriotism for every country, not just England, and it's only a few select countries that choose a foreign manager to, be their manager. So I don't think it's being racist. I just think it's being realistic that, if you've got a man from your own nation, they can represent you in a better light, I suppose. And they I don't know, maybe I'm being biased, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just found that when we've had an English manager, we've done better.
Could always hire Roberto Martinez, couldn't they, England?
I don't think he's going to get the job somehow.
But he's done nothing for Belgium. He's done nothing for Portugal so far.
I know, and he's a Spaniard. Maybe he'll get the Spanish job after this manager's moved on, but I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. I think they might stick with De La Fuente that bit longer.
Yeah, I think he's got the right attitude, and he's on the front foot. And I love the way he encourages his players to use their extra skill. Because some managers are quite cautious, and they come out with a more defensive style. But you guys, you went out for it straight from the off whistle, and you were at us, and you hassled us off the ball. So everything you did was right to put us off our game. And when you had the ball, you even were doing some ole football later on in the match. So I just think you were just better. You're a better team, and it showed early doors in the competition as well.
So you've got Julie Sue saying my birthday's the 29th. Let's party together. I'm aware that your birthday's the day before mine, Julie, because Colin had told me.
Come round my house if you want to save money.
But they're in the States at the moment. You've got, just Arnold's said, problem is lots of Spanish managers won the Spanish league, lots of Italian managers won the Italian league, German, and so on. No English manager ever won the Premier League. England don't produce top quality coaches. Destiny saying get Harry Redknapp in. Beyond is saying I wouldn't say no to. Beyond says I wouldn't say no to Pep. Adrian, what England need is cohesive, functional, quality midfield. Otherwise, these losses will continue.
Yeah.
Peter saying foreign manager did it for Greece.
Yes.
Ryan saying keep the Spanish Southgate away from England.
You know why the foreign manager did it for Greece? Because we give them an induction. we give them a nice shish kebab before they become manager.
At Ellie's house. Scott M says should be some good English candidates, Potter and Howe, but if they go foreign, should try the Poch. Potter is the current favourite and Howe's a second favourite. And I know that Poch is in single figures in the betting. Niall Kane says hello, guys.
Hello, Niall. The man from Montreal.
M says Canada had a foreign manager last time and it was great. Now we have a foreign manager who's terrible, but we are in a much different situation to England. Right, so
hello, Scott.
So with England yesterday, Ellie, I'm not close to the English players. I'm not close to the camp. I think something went on in the camp because I could see a lot of pissed off people, right?
Yeah.
And I know they stuck together as a team and that, but I think there's a lot of pissed off people.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure.
It could be off as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Harry Kane, right? Harry Kane was either carrying an injury, or with Southgate's tactics, Harry Kane, when he scored goals for Tottenham, he had another player up with him. So you could say he had Sonny with him, and he had Dele Alli coming in from behind, right?
Yeah.
When England were playing and scoring lots of goals and looking more potent than what they have this tournament, it was Saka, Kane, Rashford.
Yeah.
And Rashford and Saka were feeding Kane, right?
Yeah.
But because we didn't have players play in that position, we had Saka, but the team was imbalanced because they had no one on the left.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
True.
do you think it's either Kane was carrying an injury? Do you think it's the tactics that Southgate used, or do you think it's a bit of both?
I think it's a bit of both, because Harry Kane looked jaded, and he looked like at the beginning of the match, he looked quite fit. Yeah, you're looking at him, and he just looks like Harry Kane. Like, and then he starts playing, and you see that there's a big gulf in the way he's playing, just like attacking the ball or no pressing. I know generally he doesn't press that well anyway, but there was no pressing from him, right? And when he was jumping up the ball, he didn't win any aerial duels, and he was just a passenger. It was like watching paint dry with him, because he just didn't contribute anything. He did one good ball to Saka where he spread it out wide, and that was his sole contribution in my eyes, because anything else he done wasn't effective. And then the tactics were all wrong, because like Foden was like bumping into people, and then every time we had the ball in midfield, we were muffing it, like, and losing it, and they weren't focused enough to actually play a decent game. They should have been up for it, but they were just like so nervous on the ball. And also because Spain was so good at pressing, whereas our pressing was rubbish in comparison, they just won everything in every single area. You were better. And the only one, like I said at the beginning when I came on, who can hold their heads up high is Luke Shaw, because I thought he had a particularly good game. Cucurella on the other side was amazing, even though he was getting booed by the German fans for the non-handball that he didn't do, because it wasn't a handball. But he stayed focused, and I wish our defenders could have stayed like that. But you could see clearly as well, Jose, that Walker picked up an injury and he was carrying it, and you could see the grimace on his face. That's Theo in the background.
Yeah.
You could see the grimace in his face. He was hurt, the man, right? And the performance that followed wasn't a Walker performance, because he was playing with the injury. You could see that he was clearly hurt, and he didn't substitute him. So I just think it was an all-round pants performance, apart from a few players and possibly Saka, because he did try the boy. I thought Bellingham was very ineffective. He tried the boy, but he was ineffective, and he was losing the ball a lot. Mainu was non-existent. Every time he got off the ball, you shackled him off it. And even when Rodri went on, when you think you could get some impotence into the game, yes, we did equalise with Cole Palmer, and what a superb goal it was. But nothing after that. You just dominated, and you created all the chances. So we didn't capitalise on Rodri being off, and you would have thought they would have. So I just thought it was very disappointing, and I was very frustrated, and I went to bed unhappy. Honestly, I went to bed not with a headache, but I went to bed with like thinking, what happened? Why did we play like that? You know, very disappointing. So disappointing. And like many England fans out there, it's like, when are we going to learn, right? And Southgate, okay, he was getting all the plaudits before the match because he's been our most successful manager and getting us to finals. But if you get to the final and you lose it, I don't class that as successful, especially the way we played. If we played well and lost, and we can hold our head up, we still would have lost, but at least we would have had something to take from the game. But there was no real anything to take from the game apart from Luke Shaw, because I think he was fabulous on the day. He done so many good saving tackles, and He was focused, and he was supposed to be the one who wasn't totally match fit. You know, so there you go. That's my analysis of the game, and I was just very angry at the end of it.
Just Honest Professor says it's a bit of both, in my opinion. Kane was clearly not up to his best, but Gareth's system is not made for him either.
Yeah, agree.
Right, so West Ham are now 2-2 with Ferencvaros in their friendly, according to Ryan and Tony.
Portuguese team, Ferencvaros.
Ferencvaros are Hungarian.
Hungarian, okay.
Yeah. Mark Cook says, big up Jose and Ellie, big up the chat. Good afternoon,
Right,
Mark. I hope you're well, sir. Destiny says, I thought Luke Shaw and Carl Walker were awful, to be honest. Ryan G says that he believes that he had a good tournament.
Yeah, he actually, I forgot, he did play quite well, but he did a really good header, but he could have scored because you got it off the line. He could have put it in any direction and it would have gone in, like left or right. It wouldn't have given that bloke on the line any chance. It was Danny Elmo, wasn't it? The way he celebrated it, though, was fantastic, wasn't it? He's going, yes, like Romero does when he saves us from our blushes.
Scott M says if England had Klopp this tournament, they'd win. Adrian says again, England will struggle in any game where they can't win a reasonable amount of midfield possession. Just a harmless potato. I'd take Klopp or Poch. Some players won championships and even Champions Leagues. They need a coach of their caliber. Poch, Klopp, anyone who has already won a trophy. England, Mark Cook says, England need to play on the front foot. With players we have, it's made for an attacking manager. Right. So with that being said, I reckon, or I've said that they're the best national team in Europe and are possibly the best national team in the world at present.
Yeah.
I will stake what I said earlier. Argentina that played last night against Colombia, against a Spain team that started against England. Spain beat Argentina all day long.
Yeah, I agree with you because Spain, they've got more about them and they've got more talent all around. You know, even your defenders who they were saying we could get at, we didn't get at them. Not really. I think Saka was the best player going forward because he did try the boy, you know.
So with that, the other banner I had, because I've got to go and play football, so I've got to be worried I've got to be done in about half an hour. The other banner that I had was, what has occurred in the Copa America? Should USA host the World Cup? Are they ready? The reason why I say this, right, is there's a few reasons why I say this. So you've got what happened with the Uruguay game, where apparently families were attacked and they went into the stands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then last night, it was all over. I saw it everywhere. The Colombian fans rushing the guards and bunking into the stadium and climbing into ventilator hatches. So not only did they storm the stadium, so they stormed the turnstiles to get in, right? And it was Colombia fans. They stormed the turnstiles and they were running into the stadium, but then they were also climbing into vent shafts and climbing in through vents to get into the stadium free of charge, right? Now, the reason why I asked this, Colin was on, and unfortunately we lost Colin now, but I was going to ask the question because America did or hosted an absolutely magnificent 1994 World 1994. Is it 1994 World Cup they hosted?
Yeah, because 1990 was Italy.
Yeah.
So 1994, yeah.
It's England didn't qualify for that. So it's the 94 World Cup that Brazil, I think, won. They hosted that, and it was an absolutely tremendous tournament.
Yeah.
So what's happened since then to America to now with the Copa America? Because you have the stuff like I said with Uruguay the other day, right?
Yeah.
The Uruguayan game the other day in the semi-final, there was all that furore. You've also had what happened yesterday, them storming the stadium and getting in through vents and stuff like that and bunking in, so to speak. But they really rushed them. I mean, they were caught off guard. They got rushed big time. And I'm just wondering, and then with all the stuff that Bielsa, have you not seen the interviews that Bielsa's done?
I haven't seen them, no. I must admit I haven't seen them because I've been really busy at home and Yeah, what did he say?
So Bielsa has been talking about the training pitches that have been given,
Right.
and that none of them were even training pitches, that they've been given awful facilities to train on and
This
stuff
is
like that.
America.
Yeah, and this is America, and he went absolutely into one
Yeah.
about what they'd done, and they did it to the Bolivians as well, and so yeah, with what occurred in the
Right.
Copa America, should the USA host the World Cup? Are they ready? But they were ready in '94, so I can't understand what's happened in '94 when they were tip top, but
Mm.
the Copa America is, things have happened. Scott M is saying that that was nothing to do with the US or the organisers. That's 100% on terrible fans. Them not having people in the stadium for a semi-final and not no segregation and having no security or police and stuff like that is not on the fans, is it? Come on, it can't be on the fans.
There might be a bit of racism involved here, because, like, you know, the Americans, they should have really policed it properly, and that should have never have happened. You know, and like all that aggro after the Uruguay game versus Colombia, and Bentancur's involvement, saying that his family got attacked. Like I've got another angle on that, because I've seen a lot of fans blaming Bentancur. But when you think about it, if your family's getting attacked, you do get a rage on. You do naturally, because your family are in danger. And I believe he threw plastic bottles. I'm not condoning what he did, mind you, but you've got to say that there's some element of human defensive mechanisms that come in. You know, like you're seeing your family get attacked, and they could be under threat of really seriously being hurt. But it's just like the organisers should have nipped it in the bud. You know, before even that happened, they shouldn't have allowed the Colombian fans to have access to the Uruguayan families. They should have been separated if they knew there was a threat, or even if there isn't a threat, they shouldn't be near each other anyway. Because you always have opposite ends, because you know that sort of thing can happen. It's like if when you're at a Premiership game, if you've got Arsenal fans mixed in with Spurs fans, there's going to be trouble. There is.
It seems to be, because we've got a few comments coming in here, right? And I will go back. It says, right. So first of all, Alan saying he was there in '94. Mark Cook was also says, I was there in '94 World Cup, amazing experience at the time, Jose. So Mark Cook and Alan were both at the World Cup then. Scott M has said it was nothing to do with the US or the organisers. That is 100% on terrible fans. Tony then says, Jose, Colombia, weren't they the ones who fought Uruguay and Darwin Núñez? Scott also says, US puts on major events with no problems. No country in the world better equipped to host major events. But with the scumbag fans, nobody will be able to plan for that. Just a harmless potato says, you have to be prepared for terrible fans. It's football. Scott M says, no need for segregation if fans don't act like jerks. No excuse for fans to go after families. This is on the fans, not the organisers. Audio says maybe Colombia have just a very active new generation of hooligans. And Scott M says, how about we just don't have fans that don't attack other fans? Why is it too much to ask people not to act like dicks? Well, what I will say, Scott, I don't disagree with anything you or anybody else, Audio, just a harmless potato, you know, what people, I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying. But in any walk of football, there is tribalism. There always has been, forever and a day, right? And you can go to any tournament or any match, and the match will have a levels of security and policing. Yeah. And if you do your homework, right, especially with bloody South American, this weren't like Nigeria playing against Belgium, right?
Yeah.
Two countries, nothing about each other, no hooliganism, you know, nothing at all.
No,
There would be some
no.
there would be some segregation, but it wouldn't be categorized as it'd probably categorize something like a D game, category D, because when you put in South American teams together, that becomes a Cat A game comfortably.
Yeah,
It becomes a Cat A game. So therefore, You know, although I agree people shouldn't act like that at all, you should have done your homework. You would have known this is a Category A game. It's two South American sides.
Yeah.
Although saying that, there is a synergy there because the problems happened with Colombia and Paraguay, and then the problems yesterday gaining access into the stadium were Colombians as well. Although not providing people with A-grade training facilities, which is what they were being accused of, the American organisers, you can't put that down to fans. So it's a bit of everything, and I'm just surprised that all this has happened in the competition. That's all.
I know. It's just a shocker, isn't it? And I think, like South American people, they're more or less decent, you know, but like football brings out passion in people. Same in the Premiership. Like you go back 20 years when the hooliganism was at its worst, and now everything's got cameras. So people are like behaving themselves in stadiums, but there is the occasion where fans will be fans and they will give it, and they'll do it either verbally. I've had experience from my own fan as well. Like I'm filming at a game, and he's seeing I'm a woman, and he's knocked my iPad out of my hand and broken my iPad because he said a woman shouldn't be filming at a football match, and he's knocked it up. And this is my own fan. Right, and I've seen him on many occasions, this gentleman. I use the word gentleman loosely, right? And then there's another occasion where I gave my tickets that Philip Brady gave me for the Leeds game. I gave it to my nephew because I couldn't go. And he was with two Korean ladies, and the Leeds fans were really giving it to the Korean ladies, really racially abusing them, right? And my nephew reported it. So there's like little incidences. It's like A-grade games, Jose, like you said. They should really, really take it seriously to police it properly and make sure that these things don't happen again. You know, and you can't rely on fans to behave themselves because a lot of them have had a lot of drink as well, and like they will lose it if their team are losing as well. They can lose it just in that split second, and they can create all sorts of mayhem inside the stadium and outside the stadium.
Yeah.
So they say men will be men, right? If they're pushed, an average man will be decent, yeah? And they'll have a drink, they'll go to the match, they'll enjoy the match, and there won't be any trouble. But then there's men who go over the top, you know, and then there's tribalism, like you said, that comes into the equation.
Yeah.
So they have to be wary of these things.
You got Paul G saying evening, Jose, Ellie, and the chat, and you've also good evening, Paul, and you've got good afternoon, Jose and Ellie, afternoon, Jesse. Hope you're
Sorry,
well.
I mentioned the Chelsea, the Leeds fans, but that did actually happen.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
Leeds fans are generally good.
Have you seen these comments by Raf? Have you heard or seen the comments from Rafael van der Vaart?
Yeah, he said that England are pants.
No. Look at this. What he says here.
Oh right. Oh, he's made more comments after the match.
100 million for Declan Rice.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What does he do? He comes to collect the ball only to pass it back to John Stones.
I know.
He is useless. If you are truly worth 100 million euros, then you should be able to play the ball forward.
Yes, I agree with Van der Vaart. Well done, Rafa. And it's not because he plays for Arsenal. He just was rubbish yesterday. And everything he did was not to assist the team to get forward. You know, it's all right running around like a blue-ass fly, but if you're not affecting the game, what are you there for?
Yeah.
I agree with him.
I'm trying to find where I saw it because it came in an hour ago, and it's been while I've been doing the show, and I'm trying to see if I can find it. So bear with me a second to see if I can get it.
Well, my man Højbjerg, who gets he had a tremendous tournament, passing it forward, moving the ball quickly, you know, and I hope Postecoglou's watching that, because if we lose Højbjerg and then Arsenal got Declan Rice, I know who I would take, and he's a quarter of the price. I don't care what anybody says. I think Højbjerg's better than him. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's won more. He's actually won trophies. I think Declan Rice has won the Conference League, which is the 3rd tier, and that's it. And he won't win anything with Arsenal because they're pants as well. They bottle it. I'm going to give it to Arsenal now. If any Arsenal fans in the chat, you're getting it.
I'm just trying to see where I can find this. Right, I can't find it here. So, right, but it says, and it's come out an hour ago, right?
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, let me just come out of
Is
this.
the player we've been linked with?
Yes.
Okay, another
It
one.
came out an hour ago. It's come out an hour ago. So is it still an hour ago? Right.
Okay.
Tottenham make contact to sign Federico Chiesa. According to the Gazzetta dello Sport, via Tutto Juve, Tottenham have made contact to sign Juventus winger Federico Chiesa, who was once tipped to become the best in Europe per goal. And that is being tweeted by Gazzetta dello Sport.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And I reckon Paratici, whatever you want to call him, I think he's got a calling in that, being that he's an ex-Juventus man and he's got the links. He's got his little black book and he's put Chiesa in there and he's thinking, right, let's get this man to Tottenham. And Italians generally don't come to the Premiership in general. There's not that many that you can catch, like German players, few and far between have come. It's mainly, I would say, Spanish and Croatian and Belgian players and Dutch, a few Dutch. But Italian players don't tend to come. There's not been that many who've made it, come to the Premiership, I mean.
Yeah. And then you've got...
I'd love him. Would you love him then? Would you like him to come?
Well, we're being... Look at this comment down here. I'll show it. Come to the comment. You've got Just Fusion is saying, greetings to Jose and Ellie.
Yes.
Scott Evans saying, I like the Arsenal... I like the Arsenal banter. He says, I like the Arsenal banter, but I assume Van der Vaart didn't watch the Premier League at all based on those comments. Just Fusion says, and this is where I was going to... Just Fusion says it. Chiesa or Neto, worst injury in history.
Do you know what though? I'll take them. I don't care about their, because when they're playing, they affect games. Like Neto, he's a very exciting player to watch. He should score more goals, but like he came back from injury, and I think he scored 2 goals only. So he's got to up that. And Chiesa, he has got an injury record as long as my arm, right? So I just think if he can stay fit, or either player stays fit, we've got a good buy. But it's just whether they can stay fit. That's the problem. Do we take a risk on a player that's got 2 players that have got such a bad history of injuries? There's no doubt they're brilliant players in their own right, but do they score enough as well? Now, I was talking to Adrian about that. We need goal scorers in the team.
Shemtam, afternoon, Mr. Jose and the amazing Queen Ellie Hoiberg, Benton Corverna. Hope you're both well today. Is it my imagination or is the fan afro is getting worse? Hope it doesn't turn into the 70s and 80s again.
I think he meant aggro, didn't he?
The aggro, okay.
Afro is what,
yeah.
people have on their head.
I was thinking of what he said there. So...
It's all right, Shemtam, we forgive you.
So just having a look if there's anything else out there. But yeah, now Ellie, the season. Sorry, now the 2 tournaments that have been on our screens for a whole month. Not that I've not seen one. I've seen the whole of the Euros, but I've not seen the whole of the Copa America. But we've had them running side by side simultaneously with each other. These 2 competitions are now finished today, yesterday, or the early hours of this morning, right? But we play a match in 2 days' time.
Oh no, it's against Hearts, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we play QPR on the 20th of July.
On Saturday.
Yeah, so myself and my husband are going to try and get tickets for that match. I'm trying my best to get.
It should be easy to go QPR.
Yeah, I think we'll just turn up and
That's
just
what I was
buy
going
them
to
at
say.
the
It
till.
should be easy. You can just buy them. Yeah, you can just buy them. I was going to say, it must be
Yeah.
easy to go QPR.
I
Because,
said to Theos, because it's his birthday on the 22nd, but we're going out in the week, because that falls on a Monday, I believe, if I'm right. Yeah. Does your birthday fall on a Monday, T?
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
22nd's
So,
a Monday.
yeah, so we're going to go out on the 27th for his birthday on the weekend, right? So I just think, I don't know, I want to go to the QPR game because their ground is like it's like a shed. It's like a tin pot shed, but it's got a lovely atmosphere at QPR, and they go crazy when the ball goes past the halfway line. They go really like crazy mad.
So what I was going to say is that, right, with regards today, so today we're now talking about 2 tournaments that have now finished. We've now got the Tottenham season to start talking about, and with reference to that, it's not only that we're playing friendlies, right? It just means that football's coming back for real now for the fans. The fans, although it was good to watch your England's, your Spain's, your Argentina's, or whatever country and nationality you follow, although it was good doing that, a lot of us, or the majority of us, are more invested in our club sides than our national sides.
Yeah.
And so therefore the season really starts now because it's your pre-seasons, and the transfers hopefully start ramping up, because we've used the same excuse for 1 whole month, and that's everybody. That's not just Tottenham fans, not just Tottenham fans. Every fan has used the excuse. Yeah, but there's these 2 major tournaments going on, blah 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 blah. Well, now that they've finished, yes, the players will go on for a well-earned rest. But wherever they go, they'll have mobile phones with them. So their agents will be able to call them up and saying, this is the deal that I've got for you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure that they would cut short their holidays wherever they may be in the world. And wherever they may be in the world, they can have a medical done and they can sign with clubs. So we're now hoping that things will start moving.
Yeah, I hope so. Bloody hell. What we've signed, 2 teenage boys. Yeah, they're fantastic footballers, but we need some experience and we need some wingers who can score, and we need a striker who can get us 30 goals or 25 at least. Yeah, so that we can compete. Because otherwise, we're going to be left by the wayside if we don't get the signings in. So I've got confidence that we'll get some of the signings in. But like, lo and behold, our Spurs history in the last whatever transfer markets, we've always left ourselves short. Although we've spent lots of money, we haven't spent it wisely, and we've wasted a lot, an awful lot. Yeah, you think of all the players we've already shipped out, and we've got more to ship out, haven't we? So, I mean, you've got Reguilon still not shipped out. We've got Lo Celso, we've got Brian Hill. He's going to be shipped out. We've got Højbjerg being shipped out, apparently, against my will, right? You know me with Højbjerg, I'll defend him to the rain. I'm going to defend him till the cows come home, aren't I? So, yeah, I just think it's just a shame that I know all the clubs are more or less in the same boat, right? But our club, I just care about our club. I don't care about the rest. They can do what they want. I want us to get some experience in, some goal scorers, and actually, like, say what Adrian said, going on what he said, we need 88 goals minimum to win the league. And we were like landing around 60, which we normally do, about 60 odd goals. We need another 20, 30 goals to compete. So I think Arsenal scored 91 and they still didn't win the league. Yeah, so we need to get up there in the 90s. So we need another 30 goals in the team minimum to be able to compete with the Man Cities, the Arsenals and the Liverpools. Right, and then you've got Aston Villa, new kids on the block. They're making their mark with Unai Emery. And then you've got Eddie Howe. He's chomping at the bit to do better this season because he had a bit of an indifferent season. And then you've got Man United. You've got to watch them because they're not going to go quiet, and they've got their noisy neighbours down the road winning absolutely everything year on, year out. So we've got to improve, Jose. in the transfer market. We have to.
Yeah, right. So you got Federico Chiesa had a bad cruciate injury. Deals for previously injured players like him and Neto need to include paid add-on games to be played. That's come from Adrian.
Yeah.
Mark Cook says, make sure you like and sub to Jose. Great content and guests here. Can I also say that, which I've forgotten to say, is the membership link is pinned to the
I'm a
chat
member.
if anyone wants to become a member.
Yeah. I became a member. Yes, was it yesterday or the day before? No, the day before. I became your member. Come on.
And then it says, right.
Everybody else become a member. Come on.
Skyrim says Kaiser would be a good ad, but no chance that we get him. Ryan G saying Huang agreed personal terms with Marseille apparently, but we've rejected their bid of 21 million. I knew you'd rejected their bid. I didn't realise that he'd agreed terms. I knew that Wolves had definitely rejected his bid though, because I see the manager at Wolves wants him as part of the plans for next year.
Yeah.
Jazz Fusion says it's ifs and buts. We're candy and nuts. We all have a Merry Christmas, no cap.
That's Kate. It's a bit like Kate saying if butts and monkey nuts.
I didn't know about this. He says that heard Hill may need surgery.
Oh my God! What on?
I don't know. I've not heard that. So that's news on me because I've not heard it.
He needs a few steaks in him. That's what he needs.
But what I was trying to say is that both the games are now finished, Ellie. Yeah. Sorry, both the tournaments are now finished. Now we've got pre-season games on the horizon.
Yeah.
So now it's the time for transfers. It's the time to start sorting your squad out. Now we leave the week after. I'm trying to remember my dates now. I think we leave. Are we in Korea playing already or somewhere like that? Are we playing the weekend after this next weekend?
I believe so. Yeah, because the Korea one becomes. Right, so I think it comes after the QPR game, I believe.
Okay, so therefore we've got 2 games now, right? And then after sometime after the 20th,
we'll
that's
be
when we
in
play.
Korea.
That's when we play QPR. Sometime the following week. So next week, this time next week, we will be sometime that week. We'll be flying out to that part of the tour.
Yeah,
and therefore.
And then we go to Japan, don't we?
Yeah, one in Korea and one in Japan. But
that's right.
But what you want to do is you want to be getting your players in, so they can have some sort of a pre-season with you.
Yeah, true.
So and then
we've
obviously
got Bayern Munich as well, home and away, haven't we?
Yeah, but that's in the week leading up to the Premiership side.
Up to the Premiership side.
So that's 3 weeks away still for them games. So basically, it's all ramping up, and now, all as Tottenham fans, we want to see who we're bringing in. But I'm a bit concerned now, Ellie. I'm a bit concerned, right? And the reason why I'm concerned, right? So just to get these sort of things out of the way, and I'm up to the what's in this tournament. They had an easier draw by far and still struggled against lesser teams. Pissy little team like Croatia, population of 5 million, is always there. Switzerland, population of 5 million, always there.
Yeah.
Bergval and Gray have impressed in training from Adrian, and Jazz Fusion says, turning Japanese, I really think so. Right. So what I was going to say, Ellie, the reason why did I say, I said I was concerned. Is because, the fact that they won't be able to bed in and stuff like that. And everyone cries out and everyone says, you need a pre-season. You need a pre-season. To get used to everything, you need a pre-season. And the fact that we're not going to get as many gaps next year, initially, because we're playing in Europe, and there's 2 extra games. So initially, we don't get the gaps. Do you know what I mean? So therefore, you're not going to have the teams all together to do loads on the pitch because you're going to be playing. So you're not going to burn out your players on the training pitch all the time. So it's important to try and get players in. Now, I don't know because it was behind the closed doors, but you've heard what happened on Saturday, haven't you?
Yeah, we won 5-2, didn't we? 7-2, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people said 7-1, some people said 7-2.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it on Spurs Play because I was out and about.
It wasn't on Spurs Play. It was behind the closed doors. It wasn't on Spurs Play.
Oh, I thought it might be on Spurs Play.
No. The next six are.
Yeah, they'll be on Spurs Play. But what I was going to say is that we had flipping horrible pre-season last season, and we had a fantastic start, breaking Premiership records with 8 wins and 2 draws. So I feel I want to have another pants one and have a start like that. And this time, when we play Chelsea, don't fall off the wagon, because that's where it went all wrong. When we played Chelsea, we went downhill, and like we never picked up properly, you know, because we were destined to win that league. If only, Jose, it went all pear shapes. Yeah. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit facetious, but I just feel that the pre-season tour is there to sort of look at the newer players who might make the grade. That's what I want to see. I want to see which youngsters are going to be included in the squad and which ones are going to fall by the wayside. You know, like we spent a lot of money on Archie Gray, and we spent a little bit of money on Bergvall. I think it's 20 odd million on Bergvall, isn't it? And whatever they do in training, however impressive they are, I don't really care. I care when they get on the pitch, because Nodabelli, he was the best at training, apparently. He was a fantastic trainer. When he got on the pitch, that's what I heard around the club. Fantastic attitude early doors, I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because he was, to me,
I'm talking about when he first signed, right? Okay. He was brilliant. They said there was no better player at the club. Technically brilliant, fantastic in training, made them all look stupid. And then he gets on the pitch and he doesn't produce. So I want them to produce the goods on the pitch, not in training. Training's is to get fit and tactical awareness and how the team are going to play. And it is very important, don't get me wrong. But when you get on the pitch, you've got to apply what you've learned, right? And if you're not applying what the manager wants, then you normally lose your spot in the team. So I want to see the juices flowing on the pitch, and for us to do what we did last season, 8 wins and 2 draws. Premiership record, you know, and like I think Postecoglou won 3 managers of the month, didn't he? On the trot.
The first three.
Yeah, you see. So, what if we can have a repeat of that and then continue it and get that top class striker in and some wingers who can score? Because our wingers, to tell you the truth, Werner, it's only Sonny who plays on the left wing who's contributed 17 goals, I believe. And
right, so I knew it'd come back to me, Ellie. I knew it'd come back to me. Sorry to cut you. I knew it'd come back to me.
Right.
When I said I was concerned, right, the reason why I'm concerned, right, is the latest reports that are coming out, right, are saying that we're only going to buy one more attacker.
I know, and that's really pants. What are they talking about?
I know, if that's the truth,
they can go and do one at Spurs because they're idiots.
If that's the truth, then there's a lot of trouble there, because we're all saying that we need a 9.
Yeah, we do.
Right,
100%.
And a lot of us also want Eze.
Yeah.
So if you're only picking one attacker, does that mean if you get Eze, you're foregoing a 9, or if you get a 9, you forego Eze?
If they do that, they're idiots. They really are. If they truly want to be league champions, right, and not finish 4th, like everybody's saying, that's all they care about is finishing 4th, because that's what's bringing their lira in. But what's the point of bringing in the lira if you're not going to be competitive? You know, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. You're not, and as a Spurs fan, I want to win. I don't want to finish 4th. I want to be winners. I want to finish 1st. What's the point of finishing 4th? You get Champions League and then you haven't got the squad that can compete with the very top in Europe. You know?
True.
Come on, Spurs. Get your act together and bring in those players.
Adrian, 40 days left in the transfer window, which runs 2 weeks into the new season. Under 7 weeks to get deals done. I know there's a time frame and that, but I've been banging the same drum for a whole year now. Since the transfer window closed last summer, I banged that drum saying, we'll be good, we'll be ready for next summer.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we are short.
Yeah.
I'm being kind. I'm not going to be over the top dramatic. We are short at the moment. We need more hands on deck. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping, Ellie, that now that we've got our pre-season matches starting, so that means we'll be able to get some Tottenham content, some football, and stop talking about internationals, and see whether we can start moving in the transfer market.
Yeah. Because we all love our club and we all want us to progress. We don't want to be finishing fourth or fifth or sixth or eighth.
Yeah.
We want to finish first for a change. We nearly did it under Poch and they didn't back him. And now we've got a really great manager who's got a really good philosophy in football terms.
Yeah.
And he wants to play on the front foot. He just needs all the players that can play his style. And then we'll be cooking. And we'll be up there. And if we give ourselves half a chance to, like, towards the end of the season, and we can do like what Man City do and full steam ahead and like actually compete and win something for a change. One cup. This is going to be the 25th season under Levy. One cup. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, but whoever feels that we've been competitive in 17 years in Europe out of the 24 years that he's been in charge. But where's the trophy then at the end of it? Where's the trophy where we've been in Europe? No, we got to the Champions League final, we lost it. And why did we lose it? Because we had Moussa Sissoko when we should have had a better player in midfield playing and scoring the goals that would have taken us over the line. But we had Moussa Sissoko who contributed 3 goals in his whole career. And all right, it wasn't his fault that it was a handball. It was unfortunate. But you can't have players like that calibre and compete against Liverpool. Because they've got players that are fantastic, and they can turn it on just on a sixpence and they won the game without even breaking a sweat. And we had most of the possession that game, Jose, 63% possession. But what did we do with it? Because we didn't have the calibre of player in the right positions to make a real big difference. And Kane was injured. You could clearly see he was injured and he was ineffective. It was like this game when we started with 10 men again. Why do we do it to ourselves? Like we need to win things so that the fans are happy. We're not Spurs fans just to make up the numbers. We want to be competitive and win things again. Bill Nicholson must be turning in his grave thinking, what's happened to my Tottenham Hotspur? Their standards have lowered. I'm really sick of it. I want to win. I'm a winner in life and I want to be a winner as a Spurs fan.
Right.
If anybody can take that with a pinch of salt.
Right. So what I'm going to say is, Mark Cook says, if we really believe in Werner and Kulu, Johnson, Richarlison +1, we're going to score what we need throughout a very busy season. Scott M says, one cup and really any other times we were competitive for anything else.
I know. Nothing.
You've got we need Eze, a striker, midfielder, and left back minimum, as we will sell 4 bench warmers in the sale. So Hill, Emerson, and Højbjerg. You're not even including Jed Spence there in the sales.
Spence, Reguilon, Hill. Oh, Hill's there.
And I'm asking people to smash a like, please, on the stream because it all helps.
Smash that like.
And what's he saying? 25 years and 5 kind of trophy challenges is sad, is Scott saying. No. And with that, I'm going to come to an end of the show because I've got to go and play football. So, Ellie, when are you on next, or whereabouts are you going to be?
On tomorrow with Spurs Diehards TTID.
What time are you on?
8 o'clock. That's our normal slot. We only go on at 6 o'clock when the England games were on, so we could get our £5 worth in before they actually kick a ball and then disappoint us as they did this tournament. There's only one real game that they played particularly well, and I thought that was against Switzerland. Yeah, I think they played their best game against Switzerland, not against Holland, because the second half was pants against Holland.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can catch me there, and whoever else wants me, I'm free. I don't charge. I'm free. I'm there to talk football. I love talking football, as everybody knows, and I love Jose's show. I will join you on more shows now, Jose, because we're only on 3 times a week at the moment with Spurs TTID, but we are going to up our game later on. When the season starts, that's when we're going to be cooking, and we'll probably be on every day, every other day, or I reckon we'll be on every day, because Adrian wants to sort of crank up the experience of, more experienced fans as well. I'm not saying we're better or worse. We're just there doing our thing like everybody else, and we're trying to make our mark. We've grown very quickly in terms of subscribers. We just need more people joining us, because we do talk a good talk, and we do walk the walk. So please do join us on Spurs Diehards DTID, everybody, and support this great man, Jose, who's off to play football, because he can talk the talk as well.
So we've got Spurs Diehards TTID. The usual time slots are 8 o'clock Tuesday and Friday.
And Sunday.
And Sunday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, 8 p.m. BST.
Yeah.
And yeah, so go over if you haven't subscribed to their channel and hit the notification bell, and you'll know when Adrian, Ellie, Chang, Ian Meth, Soren, there's a few of them over there.
Mark Cousins
and Mark the Sheriff.
We've got a lot of experience. Just put it that way. There's a lot of ageage.
Yeah. So yeah, go and hit the notification bell and go and watch these people. And for me, I will say it's come on, you mighty Spurs, and in Ange I trust. You got any final words, else?
Yeah, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, keep him, Ange, keep him. Please don't.